Hi, I'm Sandy Woodhouse. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. Was actually in the Women's Army Corps from 1965 to 1968. I'm here in San Diego attending a revitalization for our district, District 22. We had the national commander here. This afternoon we're going to have a art demonstration by VetArt, if I got the name right, and a banquet.
Can you tell us who you are and what you do here at the American Legion and which branch of the service that you were in?
Hi, I'm Sandy Woodhouse, and for the American Legion I pitch in whenever I can to help however I can because I enjoy the camaraderie of the situation. Having a team to work with again is always pleasurable. I was in the Army. I was actually in the Women's Army Corps from 1965 to 1968. And stock teletype paper in communications, which today's youngsters and young veterans have no idea what a teletype even is.
So Sandy, it's really nice to meet you because it's not every day that I meet another Women's Army Corps veteran. And I was in from 68 to 71, and you were in the Women's Army Corps from 65 to 68?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So we didn't quite overlap.
Right, but we did our basic at Fort McClellan, right?
Oh, we certainly did.
Yes. So can you talk a little bit about your experience in the Women's Army Corps? Why you think it was a good fit for you? What you got out of it?
Well, I got out of it that I learned that I could do a lot of things other than what the outside world told me I could do. Back in 1965, pretty much you could be a secretary or a teacher or a nurse. And my mother had been a secretary and she did not like it. When I moved in after basic training and my advanced training in communications, I volunteered for a job in communications supply and learned that placing orders and running a 10-key machine and chit-chatting with the repairman was a great fit for me. I wasn't a secretary. I was the captain of the rifle team. We won the match. I won the match.
Sandy, when I was in the Women's Army Corps, I did my basic at Fort McClellan, and you also did your basic there as well. But I was stationed at Fort Knox, Kentucky for most of my career, and then I went to 97th General Hospital. Where were you stationed at?
Well, my advanced training was at Fort Gordon, and then I was stationed at Fort McPherson in downtown Atlanta. It was then serving as 3rd Army headquarters. So the Vietnam War was being run from there. That's where General Westmoreland was headquartered when he was in the States.
So I know one of the best things about my military experience, and I was in for 3 years, was I went to college on the GI Bill, and I'm assuming because you're just a few years older than I am that you also went to college on the GI Bill.
I sure did. I actually went 1 year in the Army Student Nursing Program. But right before I was due to be commissioned, I decided that I didn't really want to be a nurse. And I didn't want the Army to be mad at me, having commissioned me. So I went on active duty and was an enlisted person during the rest of my service. And when I got out of the service, I went to college on the GI Bill, finished my bachelor's degree and a master's. So I'm and the VA guaranteed my first home loan back in a day where women couldn't even get open credit cards on their own. There I was, 1971, with a house.
Well, very good. So, Sandy, what do you think about your military experience?
I'm really very proud of it. Whenever I'm in a group, some big group, like the Pearl Harbor Remembrance Ceremony, and they ask all the veterans to stand, and I get to stand, and people sitting next to me go, ooh, because they're not used to the idea of women in my age cohort being a veteran. It makes me even prouder.